Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the 31st Lap, episode number 164, I believe. 165, my mistake, already on the air, ready to go. Mike is on vacation up at Lake George. John is on assignment at Mohawk International Speedway and getting ready for the Super Dirt Series. So provided the weather holds off, they'll be able to get that show in. So good deal for him after the big show rained out. Brett Hearn's show over at Albany, Saratoga washed that one out. It took it off the schedule a little bit early. Talked a little bit with Mike about that. It's a topic he wanted to get into upon his return in 2 weeks. Programming note for everybody who's paying attention at home: we won't be on next week. It's going to be a week after before we're back on the air. Jumping right into the big news off the top, being reported on DirtTrackDigest.com by John Douglas Jr. State Fair Director Troy Waffner said on Syracuse's WSYR, that's the area's local ABC affiliate, that after a long campaign, it has been for nothing, and the grandstand is indeed coming down at the New York State Fairgrounds after this year's fair. Everybody, put their heart and soul into trying to save the grandstands and save the racing there. It's one of the things that made that track special. We don't know definitively what that means. Who knows? Maybe they're still going to preserve some of the track area. They're just going to make a reduced size area, and they'll be able to preserve the racetrack. Signs are not pointing to that, but we're at this point, I think I, among many, are holding out whatever hope that we can somehow possibly cling to, and hope that maybe something is preserved over there. But it seems like the engraving now being put on the final headstone for the New York State Fairgrounds as we know it, and potentially the end of Super Dirt Week, likewise, as we have come to know it and love it, beginning of the end. Unfortunate news there, breaking. Tony George, I'll make sure I got that fellow's name right here. Where did that link go? There it goes. John Douglas, my mistake. John Douglas is one reporting that on Dirt Track Digest. So, tough break. Tough break as everything appears to be coming to a close over there. On a side note, we have a report coming in also to be found on Dirt Track Digest that Al Hankey is going to be honored at the Hall of Fame ceremonies. We reported there a couple of weeks back that Gary Ballou is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. He's going to be going in as a recognized with the Leonard Samuels Jr. Award for Outstanding Contributions to Motorsports. All that's set to go off here Wednesday, August the 5th at the new Northeast Hall of Fame and Museum right there at Weedsport Speedway. Longtime contributor to motorsports, real cool dude. And now we know that he's had his involvement there over at Weedsport Speedway, in addition to owning the cars now driven by Jimmy Phelps and Matt Shepard. So going to be a lot of fun to watch that as it develops. He's a motorsports fan. He's had an interest in racing forever. And he's personally raced all sorts of different series, including dirt modifieds, SCCA, ISMA sports cars. He's got a master in science and construction management, bachelor's in science and civil engineering. He's had technical skills. He became a crew chief, race engineer in the Northeast, and we all know the rest of the story from there. So kind of cool that Al Hankey is going to be recognized in the Northeast Hall of Fame here coming up at the beginning of next month. Locally, we had tons of racing over the weekend. It was a lot of fun to kind of follow along with that as the weekend came together. Let's pull that stuff up. We'll take a little bit of a look at some of the local stuff. The Gian boys had a pretty good weekend over there at Black Rock Speedway, picking up 3 wins over the course of that weekend at Black Rock. Joe coming away with a pair of wins in the modified doubleheader, and then Jake, his cousin, won the Sportsman main. Bob Bond and Mike Bond swept, the two brothers also swept their weekend racing at Oswego. It was kind of neat to Follow that is, I think this is like the 5th time here in the last month or so where brothers have occupied Victory Lane. A couple weeks ago we talked about over at Spencer Speedway, Timmy and Tommy Catalano getting into Victory Lane over there at Spencer Speedway. Let's see. I lost track of that. Let's start with Friday right off the top. Tim Kerr, he got his first modified feature here around Vic Coffee. It was a caution-free feature over at Brewerton. Larry White ended up third behind Vic Coffee. Spencer Speedway was off. They got twin 20s this weekend. They got the modifieds running twin 20s. The card includes the Super 6s and the 4-cylinders. Tom Sears topped Billy Decker and Tim Sears Jr. to win at Fulton. They also had the sprint cars on track. Mike Button won the Sportsman feature, and the late models and now the Sportsman have been moved to this week. And Matt Shepard picked up career win number 45 at Canandaigua, aboard a modified, and it was his 6th win this year and 4th straight in action over there at the Land of Legends. Rob Bussey won the Sportsman feature. Darrell Ruggles won the 305s. Lee Sanders almost cracked into the top 3 with a 4th place showing. He's been on the show before. It was good to see him with a good run. Eric Chapman and Steve Paseric also winning full fender features over there. Eric Wise won the New York 6A Tour 25 lapper over Tyler Walton and Tyler Walker. Tyler Walker himself was in Victory Lane on Wednesday over at the Weedsport Speedway. Cameron Austin, Nick Fossey, Eric Wright, Alex Schaefer, Jack Lathan, all picking up sprint wins. Jesse Miller won the quad division. Mitch Weatherby, Kyle Podger, Cliff Casterline all winning kart features, and junior kart divisions went to Alyssa Vanderpool, Hasten Weatherby, and Jacob Weidman. Sunday at Utica Rome, Michael Mahaney. There was a ton of last lap passes, by the way, through the course of last weekend. Mike Mahaney adding his list to the group of folks registering last lap pass victories with a win over at the Utica Rome Speedway. He got his move by overtaking Larry White to win the modified portion of the weekend. Matt Shepard was third. Dave Marcichelli won the Sportsman Classic. James Michael Friesen looked like he was on track to nail down his 2nd straight Sportsman Classic win, and it didn't come together for him. He bounced it off the wall, and that let Marcichelli catch up to him, and then he bounced it off the wall again. It took him out of contention completely. Turned the lead reins over to Marcichelli, and from there he checked out in the balance of the 75 lapper. That was it for those guys. Steve Gray rallied to finish strong. I think he ended up 3rd in that one. He won the Finger Lakes 40 for Crate Sportsman earlier this year. And then, as we mentioned, Tyler Walker ended up winning the NY6A portion of that program over at Weedsport. Sprint week, Empire Super Sprints were all over Central New York last week, covering all sorts of ground. Poirier ends up winning the Tour Championship by only 7 points over Chuck Hebing. Friday night's finale, misspoke. Over at Utica Rome, it was the Sunday night finale that Stu Friesen ended up coming away with the win in the 5th and final date of Central New York Speed Week. He got the a late pass over Paul Kinney to win his 10th career ESS feature. Ranks him now 1 spot ahead of Jessica Zemke. He's got 5 wins at Utica, and he's the all-time modified feature winner there, as was reported by some of the press release that came out from ESS over the weekend. Mike was busy at the computer. Paul Kinney was leading when Friesen just got ahead on lap 23 and was just a tick ahead at lap 24. Quick spin froze the order, and then from there he pulled away. Friesen pulled away. Rather, opening all of it, Chuck Hebing won on opening night last Wednesday at Brewerton. It was a late race restart. Set up a last lap pass for the win. They used double file restarts in Empire Super Sprints. Hebing was strong, and Jason Barney and leader Danny Varon were ahead of him. They were all right together through the final 4 laps. Hebing went high to pass Barney and then inched ahead off the second turn when Varon bobbled, and from there he checked out and put away the win, and then he was back on top on the second night, winning at Canandaigua Motorsports Park with 5 to go. He gained ground on Swernick, who was in lap traffic, and then he went to the outside, passing the slower cars, and pace was slowed with 3 to go. Swernick took the outside lane for the restart. Hebing dove low, slid out in front, and from there he went on to win at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. Over at Can-Am, Stu Friesen and Poirier traded the lead twice in the final lap before Poirier crossed with the lead and recorded his first of 2 wins. Then he was back in victory lane over there at Fulton. Last week, Matt Shepard and Chad Brockman both picked up Super Dirt Car Series wins. Shepard winning at Canandaigua Motorsports Park, getting the lead away from Larry White with an extremely bold move on the inside line in the final turns and he won by only 4 feet. Jimmy Phelps was behind him, and Chad Brockman won the first ever Big Block Modified Series feature at Oswego Speedway, and it also marks his first ever win with the Big Block Modifieds on the tour. We expected to see the big one this week. It was the 7th edition of the big one, but that one didn't happen on July the 7th, and right now reports are that they are going to give it a go up at Mohawk tonight as we go. Rolling Wheels, they reopened. Tim McCready, we've tracked that one pretty well. Tim McCready coming away with the win in the reopener of Rolling Wheels Raceway Park. Billy Decker ended up winning the 75-lap battle at the border at Ransomville, $5,200 for his efforts over there. Good show down there at over at the Yates County Speedway. Brandon Palmisano winning the figure 8 race, and Austin Manshaki winning the Demolition Derby as their fair kicks into high gear this week. They've got pulling trucks tonight, provided the rain allows them to get them off, and then they've also got pulling trucks again tomorrow before they move into another Derby program on Saturday night. Got to give a big thanks to Chuck Bowman, who's going to help out with that a lot. Going to send the cameras over with him and get that one covered up. Interesting change of pace over at Watkins Glen International. Race fans looking to camp out there have a couple new options. They've got the Bronson Hill area, which is an outfield location near Gate 6. 30 by 50 RV spaces, $375 pricing leading up to the 5th of August, the 3rd of August, at which point prices are going to raise to $425. 2 vehicle passes come with each. Fans can purchase those camping areas at 866-461-RACE, or they can log on to theglen.com for additional information on that topic. So yeah, more camping area for anybody looking to hang out over at Watkins Glen International. Again, the Sprint Cup Series is going to be coming that first weekend of August, so you want to make sure you book that spot and get in there early because those camping spots are going to fill up quick. But those are some prime real estate right there, too, just by Gate 6. It's a nice spot. We had some more driver news. Donnie Kreitz is experiencing some concussion-like symptoms. He's going to be putting his racing season on hold. So hopefully he can get himself together. We saw it last year. I think it was last year when we had Eric Jaguar took that hard lick against the wall, and he had some concussion issues there. He did manage to get back into the car. Had a pretty good season to follow that, but sure enough, it's nothing to mess with, those concussions. It can cause all sorts of problems. That was reported by Jeremy Elliott at the Patriot News. Just taking a quick look, see if there's anything else of note that we've missed so far. Just going to run through stuff real quick. We got all sorts of stuff changing. Again, we are going to be off next week, so we're not going to be around next Thursday. I've got some surgery scheduled on Monday. It's going to keep me laid up for about a week, so we're going to take some time off there. And then from there, we're going to be back with a regular docket here the rest of the way through the season. At least that's the plan thus far. Anyway, as we move forward with all of the 31st lap activities here on FingerLakes1.tv. Hope everybody's enjoying that new web link. It's been working out pretty well for us. All the podcasts here at Finger Lakes One, now they're in one central location, so it helps out an awful lot in terms of keeping everything intact and keeping everybody on top of things. Small blocks, looking ahead to the schedule this weekend, small blocks go 50 laps at Autodrome Granby this weekend. Big blocks, small blocks joining the fray on Friday at Glen Ridge. There's some notes that we got to come back to here regarding the Short Track Super Series in just a moment. Drummond's got a 50-lapper on deck for the small blocks on Saturday. Canandaigua, again with their weekly program that we alluded to. Small blocks are visiting Mercer on Saturday as well. Big block, small block program, Orange County Fair Speedway. BRPs are going to be doing double action this weekend, Sharon and State Line. Both of those, the Lou Blaney Memorial scheduled for this weekend, $10,000 to win at Sharon Speedway with the All-Stars. Going to be a lot of fun to watch that. Twin 50s, as we talked about, at Granby. Albany Saratoga coming up next week for the ESS. And the Super Dirt Series Tuesday next week is going to be at 5 Mile Point. As typical, Utica Rome Speedway is going to have the big block, small block program. Now let's come back and jump back to a topic that we just hit on a moment ago with some of this news breaking about the July 22nd date at I-88. Huge payout and a $1,700 washer-dryer fan giveaway being hosted over there as part of the Short Track Super Series. This is a new change. It's the third annual Crazy 8 special over there at I-88, scheduled for July the 22nd. Rain date is going to be July the 23rd if needed. Cash bonuses have been added to the STSS Modifieds. Each heat race winner modified ranks are getting $88 cash, courtesy of Parks Companies. A hard charger in the 48-lap main is going to take home $288 via Zuby's Racing. And thanks to Olam's Furniture, Bedding, and Appliance Electronics Center, locations in the southern tier in Syracuse, one fan is going to walk home with a brand new Whirlpool front-loading washer and electric dryer. That's kind of cool. There's no cost as part of the raffle. It's all going to be tied to general admission tickets, which are going to take place following the modified 48-lap feature in Victory Lane. The washer and dryer will be on site and able to be taken home by the lucky winner. Check out olams.com for more. Pretty cool. I mean, I think anybody would be happy to come home with that. Posted purse for that as follow. The defending winner Danny Creedon pocketed more than $9,000 last year by fending off Stuart Friesen to win that show. Mike Mahaney won the inaugural edition in 2013, and again Creedon winning it last year. The posted purse: $8,888 for first, $3,888 for second, $2,288 for third, $1,688 for fourth, $1,488 for fifth. 14th through 24, $388, and provisionals get $194, and all the modifieds are going to be pretty equal at 2,400 pounds. American Racer 33 or harder. Special tire provisions for all four corners. Saddle panels permitted. Draw for position will set the heat lineups with a redraw with the top qualifiers in the main. So it's kind of cool where things are at right now. 4 different drivers have visited the STSS North Region Victory Lane so far. Point leader Friesen, he won at Orange County. Rick Lawback won at Big Diamond. Jackie Brown at Accord, and Brian Malcolm at Thunder Mountain. Grit Crate 602 Sportsman also on the card. Find out more, visit bdmotorsports.com, call 845-728-2781, or email bdmotorsports@gmail.com for more on that race. Check in to see what's going on here. Matt Rice sending me a note. Looks like we've pretty much covered most of the bases. Again, this is just kind of an abridged version tonight. We're going to get through everything that we got planned for this week. And Monday, take a week off, and we'll be right back after it here coming up next week. We appreciate everybody checking out the 31st lap. Again, it's something that we enjoy doing, and with the heavy travel schedule this time of the year, it gets a little tough to get everybody in one spot. We're looking forward to taking next week off, and we will be back with, hopefully, we'll have John and Mike back in studio and have some deeper conversation about what's going on in the racing world in and around Central New York. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.